You know, it's kind of hard to believe any media, isn't it? I mean, on one end, you have the likes of CNN and MSNBC and CBS and ABC and NBC News and a few others that are quick to come out and acknowledge the fact that Trump has conceded, or at least worded in that way. And it's not just them either. You have online sites like the Washington Post. You have online sites like Facebook. You have online sites like the New York Times. You have online sites like Associated Press. All of them that are quick to acknowledge that Trump has conceded and that he's stepping back to let the transition for Biden proceed as planned. But yet, there's another side of the media that says otherwise. You have ONA, I think, or ONN, whatever you call them. You have Newsmax. You have people at Fox News, which is kind of like right down the middle. Some are on the side of those I just mentioned, and some are on the side of those like Newsmax and ONA and a few others. You have legitimate local people, if not independent national reporters, coming out and using platforms like YouTube and Vimeo and Dailymotion to express what they consider the reality that's being hidden. So the question obviously is, who's telling the truth? Who's legitimately telling the truth when it comes to this whole situation with whether or not, Trump has conceded or he's not conceded? Who's telling the truth? I mean, I was just watching an article here on the Newsmax TV YouTube page, if you will, and it's by Greg Kelly, and the title of it is Trump Has Been Here Before. And what they mean by that, or what Greg means by that, is 4 years ago, all the media thought that Trump was done for. Trump was out of the running. It was over. Hillary Clinton was a surefire victor. But yet, you have in the third and final debate, the Trump family on stage standing confidently and not intimidated or not wavered by any footage that the Hollywood Reporter or Hollywood Access or TMZ or whoever put out there to try to discredit Trump. And what happened? Shortly thereafter, days later, not only did you have the third debate, but as Greg Kelly put it, months later he was being sworn in. And this was something that the media did not want to happen. They did not want to acknowledge, but were forced to. So now the question is this same media that 4 years ago said that Trump was out of the running, he was done, is this media once again trying to hide the fact that there's a slight chance, a very slight chance, that Trump could find a way to get back in to the saddle of the White House? I mean, one thing they always bring up is 20 years ago in the 2000 election. In 2000, all of the media thought that Al Gore had won. He had won. And then what happened? 34 days later, it was proven wrong. The following month, it was proven wrong, and it turned out that George W. Bush was the one that became out victorious. So again, the question is, who's telling the truth? Who's telling the truth about Trump's situation? Is it CNN who's actually come out and said that Newsmax and the likes of ONA and a few others are lying about the situation? Or is it the side of places like Newsmax and ONA and many others that are saying, no, hold the phone. We're telling you the truth. They're the ones that are lying. It makes you wonder. It really makes you wonder, really makes you think, because as we've all noticed, a lot of these media outlets, visually and social media wise, are trying their best to quicken the decision. In other words, what they're trying to do, in my opinion, being someone being on the outside looking in, what they're trying to do is they're trying to manipulate the situation, and mostly they're trying to manipulate Donald Trump. Whether you like the guy or you don't, nobody, not Trump, not Biden, nobody deserves to be manipulated by the media in what decision and direction they'll go in. And that's exactly what some of these media outlets that are trying to clarify in their minds and make a statement in their minds that Trump has conceded, that's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to do. And the likes of Newsmax, ONA, and many others, they see that. They see that all these big media outlets are trying to manipulate the system, and mostly trying to manipulate the person that they are talking about. They're trying to manipulate them into saying that they've conceded. They're trying to make them come out and say it in some way to where they could use that as a headline, headline in the articles, or a headline video that they could showcase, so that they can get to this transition, they can get to this change as quickly as possible. Now, here's what's also interesting. There's a lot of people that will probably agree with what I'm saying and say, yeah, there's two sides of the story. But some of those people, I should say, will probably also come out and say, hey, even if it is true, and they might be defensive about it. They might come out and say, hey, even if it is true that, the media is hiding the truth about Trump being, having this election stolen from him and all that. Hey, basically what they're doing is, what I'm trying to say here is there will be people that will probably agree with this whole situation, but in defense will say, well, what's going on with the election probably being stolen from Trump is that basically what the media is doing, the big conglomerates, if you will, are giving Trump a taste of his own medicine because he's stolen and he's yet to admit it. So basically they're giving him a taste of his own medicine, like, hey, you want us to tell the truth? You want us to be truthful about you? You need to start doing the same thing. And, who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's check something here for a second, guys. Just checking something. But, again, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong, but the point that I'm getting at, the point that I am getting at here, ladies and gentlemen, is, you have to ask yourself, who do I believe? Do I believe the likes of CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, NBC, parts of Fox News, parts of Fox Business? Who do I believe? Do I believe them? Or do I believe the other half of Fox News and Fox Business, as well as the likes of Newsmax, and, and AON, and a few others like them, or the others like them, the many millions, thousands of others that are like them? Do I believe that side over the other? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Who are you going to believe? Because what happens, because again, going back to a video I did a couple of days ago, or several days ago, what's going to happen if it comes out that it is indeed true, that Trump found proof, that here's the proof that the election was rigged? What happens if those electors that have to make the election complete and final in December decide to say, you know what, because there's too much controversy, we're just going to stick with Trump? What's your reaction going to be? Who knows? But the thing is, though, you have to ask yourself again, who's telling the truth? Is it the media? Is it one side, the left side of the media, or the right side of the media? Who is? Let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Talk to y'all later.